Ladies and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, cross-eyed demons and bow-legged ants, admission is free, so don't pay at the door. And pull up a chair or just sit there on the floor, because I've got some DedTime stories to tell you all about. Welcome, my fellow lovers of macabre history, to DedTime Stories. I'm your host, Lord Chaz. In this introductory video, I'd like to take just a couple of minutes of your time and tell you a little bit about DedTime Stories and what this show is going to be all about. But first, perhaps I should tell you a little bit about me. I'm sure some of you have already met me, perhaps attended one of my live shows, or maybe even follow me on one of my many social media pages. But hopefully, this channel will reach well beyond my core fan base, and this may be your first exposure to me and my stories. You might be sitting there wondering, who is that devilishly handsome fellow with the razor-sharp fingernails and that Dracula smile? Well, the short answer is simple. I'm an entertainer and historian living in New Orleans. I'm the creator of the original Ghost and Vampire tours in the French Quarter. Now, I created and performed the first ghost tour all the way back in 1991, the first vampire tour in 1996, and I've been performing them non-stop ever since. I mean, come on, what else is a guy that looks like me going to do for a living, huh? You certainly wouldn't want me going, "Welcome to Walmart." They wouldn't even give me an interview, I'll tell you. Now, I'll go into greater details on my background and history in a completely separate bio video. But for now, let me just tell you that I have had a passion for history my entire life, particularly the history behind the legends of ghosts and vampires and other paranormal phenomenon. I've always wanted to know, what's the story behind the haunting? What murder, suicide, or other tragedy precipitated the stories that people share in the dead of night? What is a ghost? What is a haunting? What, if anything, is the difference? These are just some of the questions that I intend to probe here on this show. But you need to know, it's not just paranormal stories that I'm going to be sharing. I'll also be sharing stories of unique and unusual historical events and moments in time. Stories that I have collected over a lifetime of research and study. Stories that, in my mind, definitively demonstrate that truth really is stranger than fiction. Now, I'll be accenting these stories with some graphics and imagery, as well as a few visual and audio special effects. You see, it is my goal to entertain and inform you in a format that fits your busy schedule. I believe that storytelling is an art form, and that oral history is simply the best way to learn of our past. With oral history, the storyteller has an expanded tool set that includes such things as timbre, cadence, inflection, etc. Things that help build the drama well beyond that which can be found with just the written word. I feel very strongly that history does not need to be dull. Now, facts are king, of course, but how you tell the story, oh, that's just as important. And it can truly be the difference between a story that is interesting and a story that is entertaining. Now, be forewarned, I have a twisted sense of humor, and I cannot help but sprinkle my stories with moments of dark levity, hopefully taking you on a bit of a roller coaster ride of emotion. All of my stories will be between 15 and 30 minutes in length, and give or take a little, with at least 2 new stories shared each and every week. Hopefully more as I gain skill in this new online storytelling environment, not to mention the process of recording and editing these videos for you. But starting out here, at least 2 each week. One will be shared on the DedTime Stories YouTube channel, and one over on the DedTime Stories Patreon account, where you'll also find additional bonus videos, contests, and behind-the-scenes stuff. Some of the upcoming stories that you'll find either on our YouTube channel or on Patreon will be stories such as The Haunted Bells of Charter Street, The Insurrection of 1768, The LaLaurie Horror, and The Octoroon Mistress of Royal Street. I gotta tell you, that last one is one of my most favorite stories. It's a Romeo and Juliet Shakespearean tragedy that actually took place right here in New Orleans. And if the people who have claimed to experience the haunting are to be believed, well, it still haunts us to this day. It's a beautiful yet tragic story of love found and love lost, and it's been bringing tears to the eyes of my tour attendees for the past 30 years. But wait, there's more. One of the things that most excites me about this new online endeavor is the fact that I'll finally be able to share stories that I've never been able to take tour groups to. New Orleans is rife with these types of stories, most of which are not in locations conducive to a tour route. They're all over the city, and I've never been able to share them heretofore, or at least rarely so. I've also researched and collected stories from all across the U.S. and all around the world. Now, finally, I have the opportunity to share these fascinating historic stories with the public. If you're anything like me, if you have a passion for ghost stories, paranormal phenomena, and true history, then my friends, this is the channel for you. Welcome home. So subscribe to the channel and click the notifications bell so that you're notified when we post new videos. Like, comment, and share your thoughts. Join us on our Patreon account and journey with us into the dark and fascinating corridors of history. See you in the shadows, my friends. Bye-bye for now.